All right. 1, 2. Testing. Look like we good now. Let me hit the stream. We in there now. Yes, sir. OCO, Miss Furlow. I see you. What's up, Ocean? Levante in the building. Drop a bomb for Levante. What's going on, brother? Chicago, Chi-Town, what up? Miss Melanin in the building. Let me drop a bomb. Sheba in the building. Juicy in the building. Empress Vicky in the building. Susie in the building. Awakened Beauty in the building. GP in the building. Love from Barbados. What's up, Barbados? What's going on? Hope y'all got y'all coffee, or no, what time is it? Y'all probably got y'all lunch in. Some nice green tea, hopefully. Maybe, you know, you might snack on, let's see, a salad. You know, you probably just got back from doing your hour run. You may be at work. I appreciate all of y'all. Alberto, what's going on? DC, what's going on? What's up, Alaska? Arizona in here, San Diego in here, North Carolina in here. TJ Meach, I see you, brother. VA to Vegas, wow, that's life-changing right there. You going from VA to Vegas. Georgia in here. What's going on, Georgia? Trina, I see you. Golden Tree, what's going on? OCO. Norfolk, VA. Minneapolis. Arlington, Texas. Fort Worth, Texas. Cincinnati, Ohio. Centralville. I think that's it, Ville. Hold on, let me go back up. Oh no, Central Valley. Central Valley, what's going on? California, what's going on? Louisiana in the building. Jamaica in the building. What up, Murdoch? I think that's Chad. You went with Juan Murdoch now? Think I don't remember you, brother? I'm gonna drop a bomb for you. Welcome back, brother. Louisville, Kentucky. Mooresville, North Carolina. Look at all the Villes. Shelby, Mississippi. What's going on, Mississippi? M-I, crooked letter, I. Crooked letter, I. Humpback, I. Sound like I'm getting ready to rap or something when I say that. ATL in the building. What's going on, ATL? Dallas, Texas in the building. Connecticut in the building. What's going on? Chi-Town in the building. I see you. Chi-Town in here pretty heavy. Virginia in here. North Chesterville, Virginia. I see you. Kansas City, Missouri in the building. What's going on? Hey, Golden Tree, what's going on? I appreciate that, Golden Tree. That's love right there. I appreciate that. Let me drop a bomb for Golden Tree going up.
It's up.
I appreciate you, Golden Tree. Friend me on Discord. Every time somebody joins the 13% server, it's automatic. Now, when you're trying to contact me through DMs, I have to open that up and close it up at certain times, or it's gonna be over flooded. I try to do it within 20 to 30 DMs at a time. But I should be opening my DMs back up in like another day or two. Once I answer everybody back, then I'm gonna open up the DMs again. But it's almost, I think it's either almost 5,000 or over 5,000 people in the Discord right now, which is amazing. But I don't want to flood my inbox and miss people. I'm trying to do it accordingly. But that's gonna happen for sure. You want to pay me for consultation? Now, I mean, 10 minutes. We'll see, Golden Tree. I don't want to do something like that because then I'm gonna have to open up the gates for everybody else. But as far as the conversation, let's talk in the Discord, in the DM, and we'll work something out. Like, I'm not here to get paid, you know what I mean? But I appreciate I appreciate the offer. Don't get me wrong, but I much rather, you know, we can have a conversation. We just got to make sure everything work out as far as the scheduling. We'll be able to do it though. Amani in the building. What's going on, Amani? Let me drop a bomb for Amani. Oh, matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till this is over with because I got something to tell y'all. I was trying to schedule a meeting with my moderators here, and I realized, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot it's the, you know, the holiday season, as they say, and I don't want to take people away from, you know, some things that they got going on, or even their family members. So I'm gonna have to probably wait. But to be realistic, I mean, people got children, you know, I understand. I have children too, but we don't celebrate, you know, those type of holidays. Our holidays are every day. Nah, Golden Tree, I have to open up my DMs. Once my DMs are open, you're able to do it as long as you're a member. You don't have to necessarily friend request me. Nah, that's not how it works. Cause I'm the I'm one of the owners of that Discord. So you don't have to do that. It'll be automatic as long as you're a member. Once I open them up, you're gonna see it. I kind of announce it also. I kind of announced it in the main chat to let everybody know, hey, my DMs are open. I only did it twice, but I'm gonna stay on myself to make sure I do it more often. Naked announcement. But Levante in there too, like, I'm not too sure what the question is, but if it's something very important, reach out to Levante, Golden Tree. Reach out to Levante in there too, because I'm not too sure what it's pertaining to, but if it's something personal, then we got to work out a schedule. I appreciate that, Amani. I appreciate that. But you know, Amani, I'm showing respect, you know what I'm saying, for everybody else too. You know, I'm not trying to say everybody celebrate that type of stuff, but it is people out there that do. So I'm showing respect, letting them know, hey, if you gonna do what you gotta do, go ahead and do what you gotta do. You know what I mean? I know it's family gatherings that's happening around that time. That's probably once in a lifetime or once a year that they get to see their family. I'm not trying to take them away from that. I appreciate that, Levante. Yeah. Like, I mean, of course, because you're gonna be like, you already know, Levante, we had that conversation. It's all good, Golden Tree. It'll be up. It'll be up. Keep in mind, y'all not obligated. I don't want y'all to feel like that at all. Y'all not obligated. I'ma be here. All right, bet. So you must be at work. Do your thing, Golden Tree. I appreciate you for showing love, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, Levante's in the Discord already. If you can reach out to him and let me know what's going on, he gonna pass everything to me. Judith, there you go. I see you. Okay. Okay. There goes Sis in here. That's the boxer right there. You want to box, she gonna box with you. Yeah, it's all love, Golden Tree. Do your thing. Yeah, all the moderators, if y'all can, my bad for putting you on the spot like that, Levante, but yeah, for all the moderators, if y'all can, reach out to Levante for me, please, as we trying to get a meeting together where we could make sure everything is on schedule, and I got some things coming up, and I wanna have a meeting with you all about this, and you know, keep you up to date and show you what's going on. Thunderbear, you included if you want to, brother. That's totally up to you. Shout out to California. Cause I'm not sure, Thunderbear, if you in the Discord or not. That's the reason why I said that. Look how they blocking the feathers already. Oh, that's another thing, y'all. Look at that. Look at the feathers being blocked. I'm gonna show y'all this. I'm gonna show y'all when I go to the other screen. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. But I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all see it already, or some of y'all saw it already, but we gotta go in and manually click, you know, click accept, or click show rather. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. But there's some things, I just got an email from YouTube. It's some things getting ready to change. Sean George, welcome to the family. I appreciate that. Sean Wanetta, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, sister. Miss Glover, how about that? Let me show some respect, Miss Glover. I appreciate you, thank you. Yeah, Judith in there too, Levante, like, I'm trying to get their names that's on Discord to match up, you know, basically like how the moderators are in here. I'm trying to, you know, match them up in the Discord as well, in the 13% server. Yeah, because they blocking the feathers. Look at that, y'all. We missing a whole lot of them. Okay, yeah, somebody went in there and, okay, hey. Y'all went in there and say, I appreciate that. See, it's easy because y'all on cell phones. I'm on a computer. All y'all gotta do is scroll up a tad bit. I gotta take the mouse and try. Okay, Levante, I appreciate that. Yeah, because you got that. It's all set up for you right there. If you can, I appreciate that. Oh man, I gotta get another pop blocker. This thing ain't stopping my peas. All right, let me get to this. It's about to switch screens.
OCO, freethinkers. You're now tuned into the realest historian on the planet.
His brother, he is raising some serious questions.
He's here to make you think.
What I'm trying to do is get our people to understand that we have been lied to all the way around about our history. Can you name any other group of people, no matter their skin complexion, that are being labeled primarily as the name of two continents? Not two countries, two continents. That is called a misnomer, which is the act of applying a wrong name to some person or thing.
The best teacher you wished you had in school. Have your pens and paper handy and get ready to take notes.
I want y'all to check out somebody named Dane Calloway. Dane Calloway? Look into Dane Calloway. He has a lot of information about how this whole shit was told in reverse. Okay, where they say, oh, we came from Africa over here. No, a lot of us was already here.
And information that was put together by a man by the name of Dane Calloway, who is also questioning the slave trade. And he's done some remarkable videos on the history of the slave trade in the United States. And he's gone back down the food chain and gone back down the line, and he's realized that a lot of the so-called African Americans in the United States are not African at all. They're actually Native Americans, because the slave trade did not happen the way we were told that it happened.
It's Dane Calloway.
Dane Calloway. Go and watch this man's channel, man. This dude is phenomenal, and he don't get the accolade and his flowers right now. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude gives some powerful information, some common sense. Go dig deep in research. Maybe even have to spend a couple dollars on research if you truth seeking. Not fact checking, truth seeking. Because there's a difference.
It's Dane Calloway on I'm Just Here to Make You Think Radio.
Turn it up. Look, 100 years after 100 years, they done lied to us about this and that. Told us all we from Africa. I made fiction characters turn into facts. Heard your time and then it was not. Knowing goddamn well that trick was capped. My wife and I wrote a book about it. It's a book with knowledge, evidence, and fact. And my other book got them haters shook, cause it's helping my people take a closer look at their backgrounds in the background, showing my people where they supposed to look. Showing my people where they get it from, where they hit it from, all sorts of angles. When it comes to this research, you must please first, don't trust strangers. Find out all of your own is what I highly recommend and suggest. And if you looking for instance and content about me, I highly recommend you the best. Which is my website at the link you see just across the screen. Don't let it miss you. I make it simple. I double down on that black and white. It's so official.
It's go time, Slim.
Okay. All of this about to change too. All the stuff that y'all see right here about to change. I'm gonna have it set where the comments can be seen a lot more clear, or the chat rather can be seen a lot more clear. The intro getting ready to change, outro changing. I gotta change the intro, y'all, because it's only talking about like I have 2 books when technically I have 3, and here come 2 more. So I'm trying to, before I change it, I'm trying to add those in there too, but we didn't officially name the second one that's getting ready to roll out before the first one, as far as the 2 new ones coming. Technically it's 3, but you know, my wife and I are taking our time on those, making sure everything is right. But the 3rd book is it was told in reverse, and the only thing I have for that is I don't even have, do I have it on here? Let me see. Through
compulsory educational institutions, vulnerable children were taught as young students about the topic of U.S. history, a mandatory learning curriculum. These young students were forced to study and comprehend all information provided by their teachers concerning this topic, to pass multiple tests and possibly graduate toward the next grading level. Without strict supervision at home from their parents concerning what their children learned in school, these students eventually became adults that were indoctrinated with detailed information about U.S. history, which they now believe is the absolute truth without any doubts or room for questioning its accuracy or validity. This type of social engineering experiment systematically manipulated millions of Americans' mindsets into a one-directional belief system, to the point where the offspring of the indigenous Niji, who are misclassified today as African Americans or Black Americans, will believe that their direct ancestors were somehow captured by anonymous European Caucasian sailors from random parts of West Africa and then forcefully migrated to North America to work as slaves for foreigners from another continent. This folklore is commonly known today as the transatlantic slave trade story. However, essential details of this story did not happen the way that we were all told by strangers in school. Not only was this deceitful story drastically manipulated and even exaggerated by design, but it was also told to us in reverse. This book is made available to order June 30th, 2022. Order your copy today to learn more.
Yeah, that's all I have is the commercial. So I'm gonna have to, and that's a little long. I think that's like 50 seconds long. But that book did very well. That book did so good that I'm gonna have to, my wife and I are gonna do some things differently with the new books that's coming out, because that one sold out 3 times and Amazon couldn't keep up with the orders, which is a good thing, but that made a lot of people have to wait, like including myself. Like, of course I had copies that has the not for sale on it, but I wanted my own copy. And I had to wait for 3 weeks in order for my book, both of them, my paperback and my hardcover. And they look good. And I'm not even trying to be funny here, man. They look so good, but it took so long because everything kept selling out. But shout out to y'all for making that happen. But Amazon should have been better than that. So we're gonna do we're gonna do something totally different. So that doesn't happen. Oh, and another thing, I'm glad I thought about this. People that were asking me for the audiobooks, that's coming. I didn't want to go through Amazon. I'm gonna be real. Amazon wanted they wanted too much exclusivity. Is that the word I want to use? I don't want to hand them my rights. Like, basically, let me straight up tell you, I don't want to hand them over my rights. Like, nah, where they own a piece, and no, y'all didn't do anything. No. So we're gonna do it differently. It's still gonna be there, guys. I promise you that's coming. But yeah, they were trying to be, on top of everything, trying to own this and own that. I'm like, nah, that's not what I want here. That's not what's gonna happen. And they were trying to make me change some stuff, and that's not gonna happen. Like, if you see me, for example, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, if Netflix and Hulu, if they reach back out again and they tell me, so I have creative control and we don't have to change nothing up, you can stay the same, that's when you're gonna see me on there. Besides that, I'm not changing nothing. I'm not about to tweak this narrative. I'm not about to do it to their liking. That's not gonna happen. When I show this research up on screen, it's what I'm showing up on screen. I'm not about to change nothing for nobody, and not even $1 bill. I could care less how much you offering. Okay? I could care less. I want the message out, and I want it out properly. But to go into what's happening next year.
It's up.
And I mean that. Y'all hear Kanye?
It's up.
I'm telling the truth. Next year, it's going to be impactful. Next year, I'm going to do a lot of different things that you haven't seen me done. A lot of people ask me to do, which is to make this message spread a lot further than it has been. And it has been. It's been beyond YouTube. It's been beyond books. It's been beyond videos. It spread it to Instagram, TikTok. It spread it to a couple movies. Me and my wife had to shake up a couple people. But there's a video game. It's so many things that's happening, y'all. That's when I'm gonna show you this next year coming up. And on top of what I'm doing as well, I'm doing some things differently to make sure that this is happening on a broader scale. It's like I feel as though I have the responsibility to do this. I mean, I have a big enough platform, and I said, okay, it's time. It's really time. And the reason why I was waiting is because I wanted to put the work in, get more work done. And, you know, people was like, well, you should be there. You should be on Breakfast Club. You should be on. And I agree. And I can tell you right now, those people have reached out to me. A lot of them have reached out to me, and I turned them down. Okay. But those that reached out to me recently, I told them next year, because I want to make sure that this is not about me. This is about the message that me and many other people are bringing. I'm not the only one. But I feel as though it's time. It's time. And I'm going to make sure it's out there now. And it's not going to be no campaign run for political position. It's not going to be, let's change this, let's change that. I understand people are out there wanting things to change. But I continuously state the only way that we can make the real changes is if we change within. You have to know that you have been lied to about who you are. That's number one. Because that changes everything within itself. Because you fighting for a different reason once you understand who you are. You're not fighting for reparations any longer. You're fighting for more than that. You're fighting for your right for who you are. You're fighting for your history, your legacy, your language, your cultures, your heritage, if I didn't already say that. You're fighting for this land. You're fighting for Turtle Island. You're fighting for what our ancestors died for. I'm talking about all the way through all those wars, the 61 documented wars that they said in the 1800s, all of them. That was our ancestors. The majority of people that were fighting in these wars were us. There wasn't that many foreigners over here. Right, it's for our children's sake too. That's right, Jacqueline, it's for our children. Look, it's for our children's sake too. Because the next generations have to know. And this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you know, I get real passionate, and sometimes I get to screaming. Y'all just gonna have to excuse me with that, because when I get real passionate, it's a lot of stuff built up in me. It'd be a lot of stuff that when I do this research, when my wife and I do this research, it's upsetting of how far they had to take their lives in order to keep us indoctrinated. And I just get so passionate when I talk about stuff, because I be wanting our people to just like get it. And I know that's not realistic. It's gonna take time, I understand, but y'all gotta excuse me. That's my passion. When I'm yelling, screaming and stuff like that, that's my passion. I'm not trying to yell at you, but in most cases that works, seem like. You hear me more when I'm yelling in your ear, for some reason. I remember my father told me, I like when you get like that. I'm like, get like what? He said, like that. Like, I mean, I can listen to you at a podium and be ready for war once you finish. That's that warrior. And we're all warriors. And we all have to be leaders. It can't be just one leader. Not anymore. We did that stuff in the past. Who took Malcolm X's spot? Martin Luther King. Name the people. Who took their spot? There's not one person that we can name right now in 2022, getting ready to creep up on 2023, that we could say honestly took the spot of these great leaders. Even though some of them have done some wrong to our people, but they were still considered leaders of our communities. Now, it's some people that I know for a fact that has my back, my front, and my sides. If I have to be the spark to start that fire, let it be. I'm willing to do that. I'm not here for clout. I'm not here for monetary gain. I appreciate the credit because of the fact that I have put in a lot of work and still doing that same thing. My narrative has not changed once, and it won't ever change. I don't consider Jesse Jackson a leader. I consider Jesse Jackson a political puppet. I don't consider people like that that's in the political game leaders. I really don't. Because they're not the voice of our people. They haven't been through the struggle enough to understand what's needed or what's necessary. Like, I'm from the streets in DC. I know what happened. And I was able to see both sides because my grandmother said, all right, I don't want you to die out there in the streets. I'm gonna try my hardest to put you in the best schools uptown. And I got to see both sides. And I realized that we were both, as far as us, the Niji people, and everybody else, Caucasian, everybody, Filipino, everybody, Latino, we were all taught the exact same indoctrination. I always challenged my teachers. What are you teaching us? Where did this come from? That's what I'm battling against. That's the narrative that was created for our people that kept us in a mindset of submission. Submitting to who? Some form of great power or greater power? Unforeseen? See how it relates to religion in a way? But it's really not, because these people are hiding, some of them underground. So they controlling a whole nother set of people in a totally different country, in a totally different continent, by way of remote control. And how long are we willing to allow this? We see the great people of South Africa got their stuff together and said, that's not what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna get up out of here. If you wanna stay here, you gonna stay up under our rulership. I've been showing people this because that is the exact same thing that we have to do. We don't have to live generation after generation of being colonized by a group of people that don't even live here. And these same group of people, and I mean small knit, there's only 1%. Okay? Now, no matter their skin complexion, but we know the majority of them are of a particular skin complexion, and they are of a particular belief system that they will want to call their religious belief. We know who they are. We pinpointed the enemies. They came over here in waves. They called them missionaries. These are the people that we have to let go. Also, they are inside of the government, and I showed that too. And their religious beliefs, and their traditional ways of living, which has nothing to do with our ancestors that were already here prior to colonization. How long are you willing to be colonized by a foreigner? How long are you willing to let them write our story? How long are we going to sit up here and celebrate holy days as holidays that we did not create? How long are you willing to allow somebody else to call you whatever they want to call you? They calling you African American and black. Our people did not create these social constructs and agree on them. Nowhere in history will you find that. How long are we willing for this to continue? When we raising our generations up in the same BS, bad sociology, and we just sitting back letting it happen? I'm here to make sure that that's gonna stop, cease. It's never I'm talking about won't exist. Our mindsets need to change. So it's not about, yeah, Dane, no, but you saying that we're the Aboriginals, you saying that we the Indians, but we the Hebrews, we the Christians, we the this and the that. And notice how you always go to religion as soon as you started naming yourself who you are. And if not, you'll say that you're Africans by way of some type of diaspora that happened, and you can't even name one war that happened in West Africa in order for some pale-faced foreigners to come capture you from anywhere in Africa. I hit the mic. From anywhere in Africa for you to come back over here to slave for them, in which they are also still foreign to this land as well. You handed them too much power. What Kanye say in that song? Did he say one man can have all that power? How does that happen? How does one man have all that power? Because you've given it to them by way of manipulation and using your imagination. Your extension of beliefs is based on creativity. Another term for that is conceptualism. And then you paint the picture in your head, which is significantly called conceptual arts, and you run with it. And you turn that into his story. That's what we have to change, y'all. Kick him out. Let it go. I'm trying, let it go. Tell him get out.
Get out of my, get out of my, get out of my sight, you fuck.
We have to let it go. It's been happening for years and decade after decade. Just imagine millions of people, in which this is happening right now, but just imagine it. Millions of people that are considered citizens who reside in the landmass called America decide that this government can no longer operate as a democracy. Because originally, it was crafted as a republic. You created the U.S. Constitution while this government was a republic, not a democracy. As soon as you recreated the Constitution in 1871, now all of a sudden, this government is a democracy and works under that systematically. Only, strictly. That's what we have to change. And I broke this down. There's a video on my channel about that already, like 2 or 3 of them. I broke down the differences. I broke down what's supposed to happen, what it really is. Wait, man, accept this comment. The D3D, accept this comment, y'all. Look at this comment, y'all. Look at this comment right here. Hold on. Look at this. Constitution is prostitution. They made a mockery of our people in the past because we had our own governments. They were called confederations. They made a mockery of our way of civilization that was already pre-existing prior to them getting here. Keep that in mind. And took it upon themselves to rearrange some rules and regulations so it could go in their favor. This is still happening today. Who was they? Foreigners, incoming foreigners. And they're going to select which foreigners is going to work for. If you from Haiti, you don't get the benefits. Haiti? No, you don't get the benefits. Nope. Oh, you from North Africa? Come on over here, y'all. Y'all good. Come on. Here go the free credit. You're going to be labeled white. You see what I'm getting at? They are hand selecting. Okay, here's another thing. There's a video that I have out right now showing you how much money that the US government has to ditch out to other countries of other continents based off of their relationship, their own individual relationship, where one government is recognizing this government as its own nation. I like that, October. Pimp picking. That's exactly what they're doing. And in order to keep that recognition going, they pay them millions of dollars every year. So guess who the US government is in debt with? It's not one specific person. It's themselves. It's themselves. This whole time we thinking that we in debt to somebody else, some other foreign country like China, for example, because China is basically at the top when it comes to the trade. But technically, no, it's the government. It's the government in debt with themselves. The reason why is because they still ditching out their resources to other people. When I mean by resources is their paper money, which is still technically not paper money. It's all thin air, which is credit. Same thing as debit, credit, debit, their credit. But their credit is their form of, not reliability. What am I looking for? It's their form of recognition with, their reputation. There we go. Their reputation with the particular country in another continent or of another continent. That's their form of credit. But once again, they are still paying these people millions to billions of dollars every year. Every year. And I showed you that. There's no skipping. If they miss one payment, the relationship with that particular country is shot. Remember, they brought in Obama to make sure that he built up a great relationship with a particular country or a particular part of Africa, rather. Let me be real here. And their particular government, so they can be recognized as an ally. But the only time you gain allies based off of their historically, let me just say it that way, based on historical information, the way you gain allies is to provide aid for them. What is the aid? The aid consists of military aid or economic relief. Or check this out, or you give them another opportunity to change their life by allowing them to become dual citizens within this country. Right here. Y'all don't gotta worry about nothing. What we're gonna do is set y'all up with the label white, with the construct, the social construct of white. That social construct grants you great credit, You get loans from the banks. You'll be qualified to get a beautiful house. You'll be qualified to get land. You'll be in the best schools. You'll still be indoctrinated, but you'll be in the best schools of the best schools. You'll be in a particular area where it could be people that look like you. You won't have to worry about the riffraff. They get it all. And on top of getting aid from the government on a monthly basis, some of you may call it welfare. They're looking out for the welfare of their own people, not us. You heard what I said, right? Yeah, Morocco was the first one. If you go back on my video, I think, man, I can't think of the name of it right offhand, but I showed you that Morocco gets money, cash money from the government every year. But they were the first to recognize this U.S. government as a nation. They were the first to recognize it as a full-fledged nation. And that should also make you go back and wonder why all of a sudden our Indian tribes became nations right around the time when Donald Trump was trying to elevate his casinos, but had competition based off of particular Indian or particular Native American nations, let me say it correctly, as his direct competition when they classified themselves as a nation, and those nations were infiltrated by the mobs. You pick them. The Italian mobs, you pick them. Because think about it, if you go back to the movies like The Godfather and all the rest of them that was showing you how it was mainly Italian mobs that were invested into the casinos, where you think they got these casinos from? They didn't have enough money to build their own casino, nor did they have the grants to have the land at that particular time. Who were they robbing and stealing from? Now, when the reservations were created, it was no casinos available at that time. So when Donald Trump told you that those Indians, they don't look like Indians to me, you should think about who he's referring to a little bit closer. I have a video on that also. That's on my channel also, because he wasn't talking about the people, the tribal people. He was talking about the people that were doing business as a casino up in Connecticut. He like, them people don't look like Indians to me. And who he's referring to is who he's telling you who infiltrated those nations and still did not change. That still did not change. Now, the government allowed it. The government knew that a lot of those Native American nations couldn't handle themselves as far as protection is concerned. They allowed them to be infiltrated. They allowed that to happen. Some of them people got killed as far as chiefs are concerned because they didn't want to agree with the Italian mob, for example. I'm just saying one of the Italian mobs as an example. But the majority of them were Italian, infiltrating the casinos. The reason why the government ain't really step in is because particular local governments, which is state governments, didn't care. As long as they're receiving taxes from those particular casinos, they could care less. They don't care who in charge. You heard what I said? Look at how the government is ran. So they're fraudulent top to bottom. So it's a lot of changes that we need to eliminate. Excuse me. There's a lot of changes that we need to make, and there's a lot of things that are out there that we need to eliminate.
It's up.
What we have to do is not necessarily join forces with this particular government and say, hey, look, man, if you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. We did that already, y'all. Well, we tried that already. Like, I don't know how many more years we gotta wait to see if that worked. I'm gonna spark the 13% of our people's interest that know that that's not gonna work, and we do it for ourselves, Choctaw, Montana, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. I just bought one of your books. I appreciate that, Montana. Look, I don't know which one it is, but I hope it's the genealogy one if you ain't get it done. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But the 13% is gonna be the spark to start the fire. It's only gonna take 13% of our population in order to get it done. Everybody else will follow suit because, once again, the rest of those people are followers. That's the reason why they're too scared to be leaders. The 13% are their own group of leaders. We're all leaders in this 13% round. You ain't gonna be able to tell the difference between each other. We all leaders talking the same thing, focused on the same goals, getting the same things done for our people, for the next generations to come. It's gonna take us to get this done. We have to stand up for us. That's what this is about. No matter what you could do, whether if you're a truck driver, a carpenter, a painter, you could be a engineer, you could be a police officer, a firefighter, you could be, you understand what I'm saying? With 13% of our people, and they know for a fact that their particular trade that they're familiar with, that they love to do, this is something that they love to do, do it then. Make it a business, do it. Make it a business. We all pool our resources together. What they gonna do? They can't stop it. We got everything we need. We buy this land, we make sure that we get this blueprint done. And here come the company building up our businesses, building up our houses. We build up our own towns and cities. It ain't hard. We can get this done. It ain't hard. And we ain't gotta let the whole public know. We just get this shit done. It's that simple. We ain't gotta go to some news station and, hey, yeah, we need attention on. No, we don't. We don't need attention on nothing. We got some farms set, and we gonna make sure that we hire these truck drivers to make sure that we go back and forth with our resources. That's all I'm gonna say. Right there on that note, it's gonna be real easy. And they can't do nothing about it. See, that's the difference between us and these people that were placed later on in the reservations that took our spot. A lot of those people don't even have their own resources. We got to make it different. Trust me, I know. I visited a lot of them. I know. They sprung out on drugs. They ain't doing well. They ain't doing well. Just think about it. If they was actually getting $30,000 to $40,000 a month, they would be in big ass houses, living wealthy. Not sprung out on drugs, begging the government for some more money. You heard what I said, right? It's that simple. We could get this done. We gotta eliminate the stuff they've been giving us, trying to get us all hyped to buy more stuff from these companies. All we doing is making these other companies rich, these large companies. So Christmas, for example, this is the Christmas season. Everybody and their brother got a commercial out right now. It's the Christmas season. We're gonna take 20% off and 30% off, and you come on down here and get. This happens every year. Who's benefiting from that? The large corporations. But since we're the largest consumers and we stop doing business with these large corporations, they're no longer going to be large corporations. They may even become non-existing corporations. Since we're the #1 consumer, they say that we are the #1 consumer of the US. But if the #1 consumer pulls the plug on business relations, from consumer to business, that business will be non-existent. It's gonna be that simple. We create our own businesses, and we don't gotta be like, go buy black and this is a black operated, but we don't gotta promote it like that. Black means non-existent too. Anytime you say black, you're degrading yourself down to 0. Anytime you say black, you're making yourself non-existent. Anytime you claim black, people look past you like you transparent. You gotta stop that. What about our people business? What about that? That's a Niji business right there. That's our business right there. You see that farm over there? That's ours right there. Why we gotta put the label black on it? We ain't make up that. Why we gotta use it? Why are you using it? Why we gotta label us? The majority of white folks don't call themselves white. Because the majority of white folks are not even Caucasian. But you eat. Wait a minute now, because why are they called Caucasian when we know that the Cajun came from South America? The jerk chicken, Cajun chicken, hold up, wait a minute, the Caucasian? Man, up in Dane, they were from the Caucasus Mountains, and everybody came from the Caucasus Mountains. That's another social construct, just like African American, just like Hispanic. But nobody agreed to these social constructs. We just letting it fly. Letting it fly. Some people get a benefit from that, but we don't. We don't get no benefit by us calling ourselves African American or black. And that's a historical known fact ever since the 1960s. Ain't nobody benefiting from that. Like, why did they change the Negro Week into Black History Month? So they can make money from it? So they can understand that you are still non-existent, but the large corporations gonna make money off of your history? For Black History Month, we're gonna have the such and such, ladies and gentlemen. Come on down and get the blah, 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 blah. The large corporations are banking off for the stories that they made for you. The large corporations are banking off of the stories that they made for you. Because name a history writer that's black.
Now that's crazy.
Name a history writer in the past that's black, that wrote a history book. Matter of fact, was it a so-called black man that wrote any of those history, social study, American history, world history books that they gave us inside of the school curriculums? I dare you. I dare you.
Real life.
And you falling for it. You don't know these people from a can of paint, but you running from it. You running with it. Excuse me. You running with it. Saying it's the truth, y'all. This is history. No, we came on boats. We came off of boats from Africa. Ooh, nigga. Uh-oh. Ooh. Who did that? Who? Who was the leader of that boat? Who built the boat? Who funded the boat? And look, boat. So who was sailing it? Did they have paddles out there pushing the water to push them along? Across the Atlantic? Huh? The steamboats came in the late 1800s. The cargo ships came in the late 1850s. Prior to that, it wasn't no ships. It was all boats. Please tell me. I dare you. How? But you letting these non-existing American writers tell you your story. The reason why I say non-existent is because you can't name one right now. One. Nah, Carter G. Woodson wrote a book. He ain't write no curriculum. And he was a trader anyway. Him, Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, all them people that they gave you in the forefront was not your folk. They weren't for you. They used those people to infiltrate our communities. With BS, bad sociology. Webster. How come, okay, matter of fact, speaking of Webster, Noah Webster, if English was theirs, you know, how they want to say that it came from England, if it was, then how come the first dictionary ain't coming to the 1800s of the English language? Oh, you mean to tell me everybody in England knew each English word and their definition or their meaning? Why they wait until Noah Webster writes it in the 1800s to say, okay, that is the English language right there? If you had English that whole time, why you wait till the 1800s? But Noah Webster admitted, and I showed y'all that recently on my video, my most recent video on the English language. It was like not that long ago. It's up there right now. Noah Webster admitted that he got the majority of that language from our people. That came out of his own mouth. How many different languages he said? He said of Turtle Island now. It was either between 28 to 36. Something like that. He started, I forgot the number exactly, but it was around there. I got this up. The record is up. You can't take that from me. Told you where we got it from. Me and my wife did that. Shout out to my wife, baby. I love you. You be holding it up. You be holding it down. You be holding it up.
It's up.
In a good way. But they lied and said that that's connected to England because of the name. But what was England before it was called England, y'all? What was England before it was called England? Because if they had the Britannica Encyclopedia, and before dictionaries, the dictionary was actually inside of an encyclopedia, then which encyclopedia broke down definitions of the English words of the English language? See how we could, look. All you doing is removing the veil so you can see clearly. Don't you know how you got curtains on your window and they closed up? And as soon as you wake up in the rise of time, you open them curtains up and let the sunbeam in. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. And you know how poor they were living in England. In England. Just like how poor they were living in Rome. You mean to tell me that these Anglo-Normans and Anglo-Saxons were able to come up with some money all of a sudden? Or some form of resource to bring themselves up and make themselves richer than rich? How? By themselves? This is where you get the term Anglo from. Angla. Hey, that's right. Oh, somebody just said. Oh no, close. Old man was close. England, but that's where you got the Angler from. See how they trying to give you all of that close to their religion. Angle. Look how they do it. Look how they do it. But in fact, don't we have a video out on that? Or is it out right now? I might have jumped the gun. I think I jumped the gun. That's coming out in January. It's a couple of things that's coming out in January, but that's one of them. I know that for a fact because we finished that together. Me and my wife finished that. Was laughing at them because how they tried to switch everything up. But yeah, we caught that tail. Got that act. We caught them. Yeah, Yellowhammer is gonna be broken down in full detail. That's January. It's a couple things coming in January that I was about to release this month, and I said, nah, because it's not gonna be that many people seeing it. They gonna be off work by the time January hit. Look, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They gonna be at home, chilling. They may even have their family with them. Press play on the Dane Calloway documentary. Get everybody over there. Y'all having dinner, everything fun. Just press play. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take off the intro so I can jump straight to it. I want y'all to see the stuff we got coming in January. But yeah, it's time. It's time because they done lied to us and saying that it's English now. English. Let me go back to that. Hold on. Let me not go too far. English. They waited to the 1800s for Noah Webster to write that dictionary. Noah Webster came out of his own mouth and told you that he copied the languages that are the indigenous people of the landmass, now called America, but was known as the Turtle Island, based off of the way that the turtle shell is telling you the direction in which the sun is coming, the water's coming, water's leaving, the sun is going. It's like a compass. The turtle shell is a compass, similar to like how skull and bones is a compass. The bones crossing. Skull and bones, y'all, hold on, because we had this first. They took this from us. Don't get me wrong. I know how y'all gonna say, oh, that got deal with Freemasonry, and where y'all think they got that from? If they ain't have it over there, when they came over here, they took everything and made it theirs, right? They took this skull and bone, but that bone was representing the four corners. Same thing in the turtle shell, representing the seasons, representing the months, representing time, representing time. I said this before and people thought I was bull crapping. I said, okay. All right, but the only way I know that is because I researched Gondwana, which is this landmass right here. That was the original name before they came up with that Pangea BS and West and East and no, Gondwana. The land of the turtle. And that ain't got nothing to do with some particular tribe. That ain't got nothing to do with a particular tribe. I want that to be known too, because I see a couple people try and put out some misinformation to try to big themselves up when their tribe was a bunch of traitors anyway. Doing some work with them Delawares. You lying. We know you've been up and down the stream trying to cross over with them Liberians and Iberians, now known as the Moors. Y'all was doing traitor work. We don't deal with traitors over here. That's not all the Moors, but the majority of them that was working with them Delawares was definitely traitors. They wasn't even over. They wasn't even from here. And you got cool with them, huh? Oh man, let's work a deal out. We could knock the, listen to this. We could knock the Nottoway up out of there. We could knock them up out of the Nottoway up out of there. We could, oh man, how the Cherokee get so big, man? We gotta knock them up out of there, man. You think I don't know about these tribes just because I don't speak about them in my documentaries? You got another thing coming here. Same thing with the Shawnee, bunch of traitors. I know about these tribes here. I'ma just put it in a book. But yeah, and some of y'all may even be related to them. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of y'all may even be related to them and don't even know it, that they did some wrong to our people. That, keep in mind, it was our own people that was helping these foreigners over here to take over our land, take over our language, take over our traditions, our customs, our heritage, our legacy, our culture. Yes, we were infiltrated, but it was some of the tribes that allowed the infiltration. On top of that, the foreigners that knew that certain things wasn't working for them as far as bringing adults over there, because a lot of our tribes was like, we ain't taking care of them. They thought of a better idea and said, forget it. Let's send our children over there. That is the correct spelling of Gondwana. Levante got it right there. Yeah, but they brought them by the hundreds on top of that. That's documented, well known. Brought them by the hundreds on boats. And I remember I gave the example the last time about that was happening for many, many years, because think about who was that? What's this guy's name? The Godfather. And I think it was Godfather 3. And this is the example I gave you guys, that and I believe it was Godfather 3, how they showed his background, and I believe he was from Sicily. Don't mark me on that one. I believe it was Sicily. But notice how he was sent from his area, or where he originated, to the Americas by way of a boat. His parents was like, nah, get up out of here, live somewhere else. But that's been happening for a lot of people. A lot of people. Like, ask them. Don't be afraid to ask them. They will tell you their origin story. A lot of them are from different places in other countries. Excuse me, in other continents. Okay? But yeah, and they were being sent over here as a child. And they, remember how he got his Coleon name based off of the area? That was that wasn't his last name. And that guy was like, all right, Coleon because of the area. So that makes you wonder, did we get our last name from slave trade? Did we get our last names from, did we get our last name from slave masters? When the slave masters came over here, allegedly slave masters came over here and got their name based off of where they were located or where they came from. Remember when what video was that? I believe it was like the untold truth about the surnames or something like that, where I told you that we created our own surnames. They got the surnames from us, y'all. We created our own, just like we create our own names right now. Like how you hear the Chief Running Bull and blah, 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 blah. But we doing that right now. I remember my rap name used to be Young Diesel. You got Little Wayne. We come up with our own names all the time. We always got a first and a last name. And then I told you the differences in surnames. The majority of them were nicknames. I showed you that too. We come up with that all the time, still to this day. Y'all come up with a nickname for Tay-Tay all the time, right? I'm just saying. That could be Tyrone, Tayshawn, Tayshawn, that could be, you know what I'm saying? Or that could be like Levante. I could call him Tay. What up, Tay? I'm pretty sure they may even call him Tay. I'm always using Levante as an example. Shout out to my brother. Hey, am I lying though? I'm just saying. We come up with our own names all the time. Like look at y'all names right now. Like Moon Goddess 777. Moon Goddess 777. Look at that. Choctaw, Montana. Yellowhammer. Look at the names that you did that. Did somebody get that to you? Oh, no, excuse me. Did you get that from a slave master? Let me say it that way. Because it could have been spiritually given to you. In most cases, you find your name that's attached to you that you run with is spiritually attached to you. It could be it could be a lot of different things, but it's attached to either your personality or the majority of cases, it is your personality. It's about your persona, about how you carry yourself, or some things you do all the time, a habit. Let's be real here. But no, they told us that we got these names from slave masters. They made sure that they told us that all of our people were slaves. They never told us that they were slaves too. Look, when you were in school, name the book. I dare anybody to name the book that was given to you when you were in school that verified that we were slaves and so were they. Name the book. If somebody can name the book that was given to them in school, everybody go buy that book. Not the most recent stuff that's coming out talking about white slaves now. Not the most recent, I'm talking about back then, years ago. That's indicating that we and they were both slaves. Look, this is how you know they were manipulating our mindsets into thinking that yes, Oliver Twist, but I'm talking about here in the US. Oliver Twist was talking about the UK, but that is true. They were talking about how they were in poor conditions. I read Oliver Twist, but that's still there. That wasn't, I'm talking about here in the US. Here in the US. You're not gonna find a book that was talking about that over here. But if you pick up a book like Oliver Twist, for example, Fiddler on the Roof, if you pick like those type of books that'll show you some bits and pieces, like for example, what's Mark Twain's book? Damn, it's in my library right now. Life on the Mississippi River by Mark Twain. Get the original. Life on the Mississippi River. Remember when I told you that the Mississippi River was the Nile? And the reason why I knew that is because of how they had to travel. And parts of the traveling stories were, I'm talking about to the T, by detail, were given by Mark Twain. That the original is probably a fortune now, but you definitely got to get the original because they didn't change the few things that Mark Twain was talking about. But it's another one. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have to put a bookcase in here in my office so I could just look to the right and be naming them off because that's downstairs. But there's a few of them that did give you bits and pieces, but you would have to put the picture together yourself. Because they're not gonna outright tell you that they were slaves and had to work in the fields and blah blah blah. They just told you that they lived in poor conditions and stuff like that. Like you didn't see a full picture of how they were based around. Well, Oliver Twist did, but they enhanced it on the movie, not necessarily in the book. But yeah, it's things that you would have to piece together back then as far as the books are concerned and put them together. Now they got books telling you about it. Okay? And we don't know how accurate they are because look how long it took. Because I know for a fact that according to the Bloody Code, and I told y'all about this too, the Bloody Code, they were by way of transportation. Don't forget, I told you, me and my wife told you that transportation was a sentencing given by way of the Bloody Code to an individual that they feel as though should have been in jail. But instead of putting them in jail, like not a convict, it's another one. Instead of putting them in jail, the punishment, that's the word I'm looking for. The punishment was to sentence them to to transportation, meaning they are no longer going to be in that landmass. They are being sent to a totally different landmass. It was over here, South America. Listen, Africa, Australia, banishment. That's a good one. Exile. That's a good one. Huckleberry Finn was a good one too. Yes, Peaches. Haiti too. They were being sent to other places as punishment, and that was called transportation. Damn, I wish I could recall the name of that video where I broke this down even more. But I want to go to, I don't want to get too far away from the holiday portion of it, because of how they craft this stuff and just hand it to us, and we don't say nothing about it. Like, we just let it go. And I want to show you guys that this particular one, I really didn't get a chance to talk about it. I feel as though this is a good time to talk about it now. Let me pull this up here. Give me a second. But hold on. So, drag it over. Let's go.
OCO, beautiful people. In today's video, I will be sharing the truth concerning what is hidden behind these newly established holidays that are now being campaigned to us in hopes that we as a people would adopt them in celebration means.
Now, yes, this is my video that was called The Mysteriously Made Holiday, Juneteenth. Now, all of a sudden, this is another one that they handed us, and I was like, me and my wife was like, oh, hell nah. They about to do it again. And this was another method for them to make money on top of not caring about if somebody gonna look into it. That's why we looked into it pretty quickly. To hurry up before they start removing stuff, to show y'all how this was crafted out of thin air. But that, like the majority of them, like, why are you selling? Okay, not mine. Let me not do that, because I know certain people doing it for their own. Like I said, they do it for their own gatherings, for their own. Why you gotta use their holidays though? Can't y'all make y'all own? Like, these are y'all. Maybe I need to do a segment on holidays in general, so y'all can understand the background of each one, especially Halloween. I'm seeing a lot of people getting that wrong. Especially Halloween, Valentine's Day. Look, Valentine's Day. Do y'all know what that is? And then Christmas, right? You got Thanksgiving. I smashed that multiple times. I didn't even have to put a video out. But maybe I should. Maybe it's time. And then show you how they did it. I could break it down just like I broke this down right here. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for that.
While some people are arguing about representing ourselves as a group of people by abbreviations that may include random numbers or maybe even hashtags, fewer groups of people may be familiar with the celebration of Juneteenth and how it began to randomly appear in some political conversations during the 1960s, when some civil rights advocates would promote the idealistic folklore of 400 years of slavery being forced upon so-called black people of America.
Let's get into the inner workings and the meaning of this. Let's get into the inner workings and the meaning of a black revolution and why black people have a right to take what's theirs. You can read the platform in the program, and it's a basic program, and it simply says exactly what black people have been crying for 400 years. 400 years. 400 years. 400 years. 400 years.
But then there are millions of you who were just made aware of this celebration a year or two ago, or even maybe this year alone, And I am going to tell you why this is happening throughout this entire video for clarity purposes. And before I do so, I want to point out again that prior to the COVID-19 lockdowns, mask mandates and vaccine experiments being glorified by the media and the government, millions of people have never heard about Juneteenth being celebrated by a small group of emancipated slaves in Texas as their own personal holiday. For starters, the origin or creator of the nickname Juneteenth is non-existent. However, the nickname was said to be referring to the date of June 19th, 1865, which I personally think is a way to insult people who spoke a form of English with Southern accents of different dialects or slang in each state of the South. Otherwise, it will be referred to as June 19th. So the name alone is a slap in people's faces, in my opinion.
Look how they try to mark you. Look how they try to mark you. If it's referring to June 19th, why call it Juneteenth? Yeah, like Ebonics. Like they try and be funny here. Off the break. Keep in mind, this is my opinion. I'm gonna give you the facts in here too, though. As far as documented, you're gonna see it. And I never got a chance to go over this. This was a couple of months ago. In fact, I think it was in June. I could be wrong. I forgot when I posted this, but it was this year. And before this year passes, I want to talk about this because it's in relation to a lot of holidays that they gave us.
During the start of his third year as president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on the date of January 1st, 1863, which is why you commonly hear that slavery ended in 1863 in some cases. But this new executive order further aggravated an already existing labor dispute between the North and the South, or the Union states residing north and the Confederate states residing south. This labor dispute evolved into a civil war. And when a person hears the term civil, their minds will automatically think that a civil war is a war between citizens. However, according to Webster's English Language Dictionary of 1828, the word civil is relating to the community or to the policy and government of the citizens and subjects of a state. And since we know for sure that slaves or laborers or indentured servants were not citizens of this government at this time, then we can easily determine that the labor dispute was concerning the non-unionized tax-free subjects of a state being.
You heard that, right? I don't want that to go past. And I did this in another doc also, but I'm explaining it again so you can see the timeline. They purposely said that this was a civil war, but they didn't break down what that meant. And I broke it down because keep in mind, we were not citizens at this time. At this time, we weren't fighting for citizenship until the 1960s. So when the Civil War was happening, we weren't citizens, tax-free, not tied to the government as way of their peasant or their slave. We weren't. That should also make you question the slave trade. Because they told you it was they were fighting, the North and the South were fighting over whether slavery should be abolished. That was the original thing. They were wrong. Whoever said that was wrong. They wanted to implement a tax. That's what happened. The North did. By way, it was the Union. I think I explain it in detail here too, just a tad bit. I'm gonna come back.
Or indentured servants were not citizens of this government at this time, then we can easily determine that the labor dispute was concerning the non-unionized tax-free subjects of a state being removed, or rather being freed from the control, or rather policies, of a non-unionized state or local employer, and into the control, or rather policies, of the federal government that will enforce taxes on state and local employers who have employed laborers for their businesses for reasonable wages.
Now, that's happening still. That's why I told you that slavery was never abolished. All they did was, I can say upgraded. They upgraded it to make it go from the employer to the federal government by way of ownership of their business. And they said, okay, in order for you to keep that, you're going to have to pay us taxes. They doing this still to this day, y'all. This did not change. Keep in mind, that didn't make us slaves. So you got to look at it like, okay, when they're referring to slaves, they're referring to employees. They were working for somebody. And this did not have to do with anybody's skin complexion, because they all worked. And I showed you that also. All of them, everybody. Even to this day, foreigners that come over here, in order for them to receive, not immunity, in order for them to receive, what's the word I'm looking for? Not immunity. It's, they're receiving, what is the word I'm looking for? When they receive, when they come over here seeking asylum, when they're seeking asylum, they have to work. They have to work. And I showed you that in the video as well. That is the number one main requirement. In order for them to work to gain to work towards, I said work. I should have said something else. In order for them to go towards that form of citizenship, or to gain access to citizenship, they have to work first. So are you going to consider them slaves or workers or employees? Because it's still happening. It didn't change. It didn't change. This is the same thing that happened then. It's the same thing that's happening now.
This is also echoed by President Abraham Lincoln in the Emancipation Proclamation of January 1st, 1863, where it goes on to state, "And by virtue of the power and for the purpose aforesaid, I do order and declare that all persons held as slaves within said designated states and parts of states are, and henceforward shall be free, and that the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. And I hereby enjoin upon the people so declared to be free to abstain from all violence, unless in necessary self-defense. And I recommend to them that in all cases when allowed, they labor faithfully for reasonable wages." End quote. Now, as of today, the government is still in control by way of their policies of the laborers and employers of these laborers, and both are still subject to paying taxes to the government for that reason. This is why today you will find that an employee pays local, state taxes and federal taxes, double dipping you. But that's another conversation for another time.
Yo, hey, am I lying? Am I lying? I'm telling you that they're double dipping you. The reason why they double dipping you is because I know for a fact that the corporation doesn't pay the taxes. They make their employees pay the taxes, and they cut a small check to the IRS. They double dipping you. On your paycheck, it's telling you that you paying taxes to the state and the federal, but technically them taxes going back to your employer. right now. That's why I said they double dipping you. How do I know that? I own corporations. I know what I'm talking about. That's how they do it.
Some states, especially in the South, were moving slowly and transitioning out of tax-free, non-unionized laboring control into what the union actually proposed for all persons residing in the United States. So many states transitioned on various dates, ranging between 1863 and as late as 1950.
And that's for the union, y'all. Keep that in mind. Agreeing that those local governments agreeing with what the union is saying. All right, let's implement some taxes. They was like, wait a minute, we could actually get some money from that. But everybody came late. Everybody didn't agree to that right away because they weren't in condition to do it. Once they got themselves up and, you know, it was more than 4 or 5 businesses at a time, then they saw a benefit and said, all right, we agree with the union. And then they transitioned.
But on the date of June 19th, 1865, is when the Union troops finally arrived in Galveston, Texas, and Major General Gordon Granger informed the people residing there of his General Order Number 3, which literally echoed parts of the Emancipation Proclamation that was ordered into law 2 years ago, stating, quote, "The people are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property."
I want you to notice how slaves didn't have black, white, African American. It was no label. And then there's another label that's about to pop up where I told you it was representing all of us and not just the needy. It was representing everybody. I'm going to just go back a tad bit, but listen to this closely.
This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages.
Oh, hold up. Listen. Because there's 2 things here that I want to point out. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. That didn't say that they were the property. That is indicating that they have property. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. That's indentured servitude. Now, the other portion I want to point out is that it says the freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. I'm going to drop another bomb. The freedmen. Keep in mind, that's after they said that all slaves were free. Now the freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. That slipped right in there. Everybody thinking that had to do with us. Like, this the reason why a lot of the people that are taking some of these Native American tribes, and the reason why I'm saying that is because the Native Americans took over our American Indian tribes. The reason why they went in is because they have no record of when they were considering our people freed men. Because if we were freed Cherokee or freed Chickasaw, for example, if that was the case, if that existed, then that still means that we are full blood. That doesn't mean that we were enslaved by that particular. You see what I'm saying? That could have mean that you hired that person. If you want to say that's enslavement, that's true. But don't forget that their relationship became employer and hired labor. So they still have the right to personal rights and their right of property. You cannot take away. See, a lot of those people that's out there right now are not supposed to be in our position. And this is just a piece of that you could take and run and say, hey, you ain't supposed to be there. Here's how. Because if you weren't considered freedmen, then who were you? Matter of fact, where were you in 1865? Woo! Woo! Where was your ass in 1865? Go ahead and lie and say that you were in a reservation. Go ahead. Go ahead and lie and say you was there in 1865. I dare you. Because if that was the case, then where were you during the Civil War? Ooh, how come they ain't got no pictures of you? You just got there. You just got there. You wrote yourself into the script. Actually, they helped you write themselves into it. They just wanted to replace you so they won't get the benefits. So our people won't get the benefits. I'm talking to y'all. They replaced you so our people won't get the benefits. So their people could get it, or other foreigners could get it. Keep in mind, the majority of the people that are higher up in these particular nations are white. Are white. Let's be real. They not supposed to be there. Look.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up out of your sleep.
Employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they would not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. So in other words, the laborers now have the freedom to work for whoever they choose without bearing the risk of jealousy from their previous employers or masters that would do anything out of the ordinary to keep them working on a job they originally paid them to do. This is also why I have informed millions of people over the years of me being on social media and here on YouTube that the slave trade story did not happen the way that we were told, nor did slavery exist in the way that we were all taught. This was strictly all about employment for domestic laborers who were selected for hire through written indentures by foreign or domestic employers, but not by judgment of their skin complexions. They were hired by employers based on their trade-related capabilities and agricultural experience. Most of this is still ongoing today.
Just think about that. Would you hire somebody that does not know how to work the fields? If you're a farm owner and you need help, would you hire somebody that don't know what they doing and you need to hurry up and get this stuff out by next week? Would you hire somebody that don't know how to build a house for you and your family? You see how many times I'm dropping a bomb? That means that it's connecting. It's up, y'all. You gotta understand that they lied to us about who we are and what else they came up with. They lied to us about all of our history from top to bottom. So we won't look at the stuff like this and put two and two together by way of their own documentation, by the way, and say, hold up, nigga. You owe us way more than reparations. You on our lands right now. You ain't even supposed to be here. You owe us everything. Let's go watch.
There is no public record of Juneteenth.
I'm telling telling you right now, this year, I'm telling you right now, when I'm speaking in affirmation, we gonna wake up the rest of the 13%, and we gonna get everything done that we need to get done. It's gonna happen. I've been sitting on this information for years, and since you've been watching, so have you. Now that we got the facts in order, it's time to get everything else in order. It's time. It's time.
It's go time, Slim.
Or any public celebration directly related to Juneteenth in Galveston, Texas on the date of June 19th, 1865. In fact, there is no public record of a celebration festival of Juneteenth in any state from 1865 up to the 1960s. However, that is not to say that there were no festivals, cookouts, barbecues, horseback riding, family reunions, or church and community gatherings held throughout America during these time periods. I would also like for you to note that we are being told that Juneteenth was being celebrated in 1866 by former slaves in Galveston, Texas.
Watch this.
However, public writers or speakers of this story are not providing you with the names of those individuals who celebrated during this time period.
So how you know? If it was celebrated in 1866 and you ain't named one person, how you know? I'm not taking my foot off the gas pedal because I super glued my foot to it.
So their guesses are as good as yours. 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 Now, another mysterious connection was made to people celebrating Juneteenth in Houston, Texas in the late 1800s, once a plot of land was purchased by former slaves of Houston, Texas, and named Emancipation Park in 1872. But note that it is owned by the Emancipation Park Conservancy. Conservancy means a body concerned with the preservation of nature, specific species, or natural resources. During the year 2021, the Emancipation Park Conservancy website wrote updated information about its history in a timeline format, stating, quote, "Sparked by the desire to have a place to commemorate the anniversary of their emancipation, Juneteenth, community members, all former slaves, in the 3rd and 4th wards led by Reverend Jack Yates, Richard Allen, Richard Brock, and Reverend Isaiah Dibble united to raise $1,000 in 1872 to purchase 10 acres of parkland to host Juneteenth celebrations. This is significant not only as a ritual of remembrance and celebration, but also as an early act of exercising the new right of property ownership. And then this timeline jumps to 1909, stating, quote, "The park was the home of the first Dirolak Nosuho, colored Houston spelled backwards, carnival in 1909. The carnival was patterned after the Nosuho Carnival and included attractions such as a Wild West show and a football game between Perry View and Bishop colleges." It goes on to state, after changes to the tax code and issues surrounding ownership, the park was donated to the city of Houston in 1916. Initially, the park was merely an open field with a racetrack around the perimeter and an open-air pavilion in the center. This raised a major red flag because now we know that this information given has been manipulated. It goes on to state, In 1938 and 39, the Great Depression's Public Works Administration constructed on the park site a recreation center, swimming pool, and bathhouse designed by prolific Houston architect William Ward. The landscape plan by Hare and Hare of Kansas City, Missouri, was rendered in pencil on tissue paper. It was originally drawn on May 31st, 1938, and revised on October 17th of that same year. Urban redevelopment cleaved the 3rd Ward from the city of Houston via the 59 South Freeway, thereby creating a physical barrier and an imbalance in development and gentrification. This, combined with general desegregation, led to the neglect of the 3rd Ward and Emancipation Park, with the last major renovation to Emancipation Park occurring in 1974. In 1976, the Association for Study of Afro-American Life and History donated a plaque dedicated to Reverend Yates, which is displayed at the entrance of the community center. I noticed that many recent reports on Juneteenth in Texas, and even this website, mentions the name Reverend Yates. So I immediately conducted an investigation on this lead. John Henry Yates, also known by the nickname Jack Yates, was born on July 11, 1828, in Gloucester County, Virginia. He married Harriet Willis of a neighboring farm, and they had 11 children together. Harriet's employer was set to move to Matagorda, Texas in 1863, and with no other place to work, Harriet had no choice but to follow her employer to Texas, along with her 11 children. And John Yates tagged along, not wanting to be separated from his family. According to the Texas State Historical Association, upon emancipation in June 1865, the Yates family. By the way, I hope y'all listen, and I'm giving you my sources just in case you think I'm making this crap up. Texas State Historical Association is where I got it from directly, and I'm quoting it. Look how it look. Just look. He went to Houston to look for work. Jack became a drayman by day and a Baptist preacher at night and on Sundays. The Home Missionary Society had sent the black man, Isaac Sidney Campbell, to do mission work among the African Americans in Houston, and Campbell, needing help, began to send Yates to hold meetings in Houston and elsewhere. This led to Yates's ordination as a Baptist preacher by Campbell and Elder J.J. Reinhardt. When Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, the first Black Baptist church in Houston, was organized in 1866 by Reverend Crane, a white preacher, Yates was called as the first pastor. Hold up. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Antioch Missionary Baptist Church was the so-called first Black Baptist church in Houston in 1866 by Reverend Crane, a white preacher. This is their quote. Just like how the HBCUs, y'all want to keep donating to them, thinking that it's about to go to the so-called black students when it's white people that own them. Making a mistake, but watch this. Campbell, needing help, began to send Yates to hold meetings in Houston and elsewhere. This led to Yates's ordination as a Baptist preacher by Campbell and Elder J.J. Reinhardt. When Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, the first Black Baptist church in Houston, was organized in 1866 by Reverend Crane, a white preacher, Yates was called as the first pastor. He and others moved the congregation to a more desirable location. Martha, Yates's oldest child, cooked for the bricklayers, carpenters, and laborers as they constructed the building. Under his leadership, Antioch Missionary Baptist Church and Trinity Methodist Episcopal Church purchased Emancipation Park on Doling Street for the black people of Houston in 1872. All right, so now you know
that those two churches came together to purchase Emancipation Park in 1870. Am I in the mic? Okay, yeah. Watch this. This section of John Yates' biography and in its entirety were written by a Yates family member on August 2nd, 2017. And according to his biography, he and three... Oh, let me make sure y'all got that. I'm not joking. Just making sure y'all got that. We're going to keep it moving. August 2nd, 2017. And according to his biography, he and three other former slaves that were not mentioned did not purchase Emancipation Park, but two churches did, and they gave up ownership of this park in 1916. So, it wasn't a person, it was two churches. Churches doing business as businesses bought that. Not one person. It was up under the ownership of two churches. So they lied about that. Due to ownership issues, according to the park's website. More importantly, there was absolutely zero mention of a celebration of Juneteenth. So Juneteenth did not start in Texas, nor was it, quote, one of the earliest documented land purchases in the name of Juneteenth, organized by Reverend Jack Yates, as to how the Juneteenth.com website falsely claims right now. Now, that's on the Juneteenth.com website. They lied and said that Reverend Jack Yates purchased that, and he did not. There's no record of that. And there's also no record of a celebration in 1866 when they just got it in 1872. Woo, hey, when I do research, I do research. I don't play no games. Right now. And look how we caught him again. And speaking of this website, Juneteenth.com was created by a man by the name of Cliff Robinson in 1996. And during an interview with the Associated Press in the year 2020, even he couldn't fathom all of the newly populating support for celebrating Juneteenth as a holiday in particular states outside of Texas, who was the first state to make Juneteenth a state holiday in 1980. With large corporations like Nike and Target taking the initial steps to support Juneteenth as a specialized promotional event for retail revenue, Robinson said, for retail revenue, what I tell you, for retail revenue, just like how they doing everything else, right now as far as these holidays are concerned, is only for retail revenue. Making these large corporations larger, like Nike and Target taking the initial steps to support Juneteenth as a specialized promotional event for retail revenue, Robinson said that it's hard for people to ignore Juneteenth when giant retailers are bringing it into the mainstream. See there? Quote, besides being a wonderful thing, it was just something completely out of the box, Robinson said. Woo! Listen to that. We've been... I got them. Got them. Look at that. That's a direct quote. Direct quote. Besides being a wonderful thing, it was just something completely out of the box. Shout out to GP. I appreciate that. It's respect. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you, GP. I appreciate that. Choctaw, it's in the description, Choctaw, Montana. I can't, don't give me the line. I can't remember it right off, but it's in the description of the video. Completely out of the box, Robinson said. Listen to that. We've been focused on getting a governmental blessing as a holiday. It never crossed my mind that the corporate world would be the one to make it that way. I mean, well, how else you gonna make it a governmental blessing if the corporations don't get on board? I mean, just think about it. The state work with the church work with the state, and in order for both of them to stay up, they gotta have corporations. So a government is not a government unless it works with other corporations. That's how you know the government is a corporation. Business to business. It's too easy.
Wait a minute, but wasn't it allegedly made a holiday in 1980? But at least now you know that this was all about corporate greed. And keep in mind that this interview was 1 year prior to it becoming federally recognized as a national holiday after Democrat Joe Biden, as the U.S. president, signed it into law on June 17th, 2021.
See there?
But exactly 42 years prior to this taking place, it became a state-paid holiday in Texas on June 7th, 1979. 1979.
Oh man, I jumped. Oh man, I was trying to pause that for y'all. Hold up, my fault. Let me push it back. I want, just in case somebody wanted to get that link. Right
History.com.
Just in case y'all wanted to get that link at the bottom. So y'all could know that Juneteenth was a paid state holiday in the state of Texas on June 7th, 1979. Now, this is, and it's according to that's the History Channel saying that. The History Channel do be lying, but that's a whole nother story. But here we go.
Listen closely. Another Democrat by the name of Albert Eli Edwards was commonly referred to as the father of the Juneteenth holiday as soon as he entered the political realm by way of election at the age of 41, becoming the Texas state legislator representing House District 146 from the year 1979 to 2007, and again
from 1979, listen,
in 2009 to 2011. And according to an updated Juneteenth fact sheet written by Congressional Research Service on June 3rd, 2020, Al Edwards legislation, written in HB 1016, was passed into law on the date of January 1st, 1980, and not on June 7th, 1979, as the History Channel's official website claims as of today.
Told you they be lying. They be lying. Hey, you think we don't? Hey. Me and my wife don't play that. Shout out to my wife. We don't play that. We cross-reference everything. Y'all do the quick Google search. Don't worry. We're going to do the hard work.
Now, noticing the mysterious discrepancies with these essential dates led me to investigate further concerning what was actually written in this bill, HB 1016, but to no avail, due to the public record not being available to view online without special government permission for some strange reason.
So for some strange reason, me and my wife cannot pull up HB 1016. You cannot pull up HB 1016, and they saying it's going right back to this bill. We should be able to pull up a government record now. Why can't we pull it up? For some mysterious reason, this one can't be pulled up. So y'all want to hurry up and go back there and go get right in, y'all. But don't worry about it. They not going to check it out. Next year, we going to put it out. Next year, we going to put it out with the corrections made and the created stories, the made up dates. We caught them right on time.
Now, I have the bill's name all the way down to the exact code. And another issue we are having with retrieving the official transcript of this bill is that two major places that my wife and I would use to retrieve these types of records do not have a record of this bill available online, again, without special permission.
Why? Like, what type? Like, even people with government clearances can't get in. Even people with government clearances can't get in. I had to pull my resources together to get some people with some government clearances. Like, hey, pull this up. I need to see what this is about. And if they can't do it, something is wrong, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now.
Retrieve these types of records do not have a record of this bill available online, again, without special permission. This can only mean that something is happening to this bill right now before they make it public. Maybe they are manipulating it, unfortunately, before we can see its original version. But I would like to know the truth before they change it. But I'm hoping for the best because I really would like to know why this mysteriously made random holiday appears out of thin air nationally in 2020 at a time when the public was forced to stay in their houses and possibly lose their jobs or businesses if they didn't comply with the new normal. And this holiday was even being used as a Democrats' political campaign promise in 1979, at a time when our people have previously displayed the largest civil rights activism work, pro-black college students gatherings, and protests for equality, justice, and first-class citizenship, etc. But wait, there's more. During the 1960s and beyond, a flag was used to represent Juneteenth that carried the Oh man, I was just talking and my mic was muted all of a sudden and I didn't mute it. I see people saying that it froze. Yep, it did. All right, hold on. Y'all know how I go. Hold on, let me play some background music or something real quick, so they could get up off me. We good? We are we good?
It's up.
Hey, all right. It definitely froze. Y'all know how they, you know what I'm saying? And it probably knocked some people off. I didn't even get a chance to see how many people was watching, but I'm sure that knocked people off. Let me give them like 2 minutes to get back. Okay, let me give him like 2 minutes to get back. Let's see. I don't got nothing to play real quick to throw them off real quick, but you know what I'm saying? Every time I do it, I make sure I go for the gut. And when I go for the gut, I make sure that let me not to get too graphic, but I'll let Shao Kahn tell you that it's fatality. That I just go for that. Okay, we go for the jugular. We don't play around. Okay, chapter 4 is very important, so I don't even want to move forward until everybody say we good to go. I see people saying it is frozen. Can y'all hear me clearly? Can y'all hear me clearly? What, huh? We good? Loud and clear. Sounds good. Hey, if somebody, I know y'all haven't heard this in a while, but it was somebody in the chat that we had to knock up out of there, y'all. And I don't even got my where my sniper thing at? Oh, it's right here. Snipers! Yeah, I struck a nerve. Thunder Bear. I appreciate that, Thunder Bear. Yeah, every time I do that, they'll shake up the stream. So if y'all listening to this live and it's just coming back, here's another one where they'll shake something up, you know, try to throw everybody off, make them log off like, all right, I had enough. And they do that crap purposely. But I'm here. We're still gonna continue on. I just didn't want to go into chapter 4 without everybody being able to see this because it do get deep. So apparently we struck a nerve with at the end of chapter 3. And by the way, this is all going to be a book as well. It's not going to be lined up the way it is in this video. It's going to be in full detail. Don't forget, even my book that's out right now called my wife and I's book called It Was Told in Reverse. Even though you heard me mention how the transatlantic slave trade story was not done the way that we were told, and it was told to us in reverse, and I explained it, you know, in a lot of videos that's on my channel. The book is in full detail.
The book is in full detail. It's always going to be different. Like the book is going to be, if you're a reader, it's going to be a lot longer than what's going on as far as the writing that I do on the videos. But yeah, man, it's hey, did we? Oh, no, y'all got him. We got some, you know, a couple people up in there. I don't know what they doing, man. They just hating it, I guess. I don't know. But I'm about to get right back to it. Right now, I just want to make sure everything's straight. I can't see that we having a problem with YouTube. They're not. I'm looking at the other screen. They're not telling me that. But see, once again, they don't tell you anything. They just make it happen. But okay. All right, so let's if y'all can hear me, there's some turtles I got right now, right? I got, let me see. Is the turtle in here? Y'all see this turtle? If you're a member, put in a turtle in the chat, or if you're not a member, put a turtle in the chat from your phone. If we good to go, let me get some turtles in the chat. If we good to go. If I see a bunch of turtles in the chat, then I'm gonna keep it moving.
It's up.
Bunch of them. Excellent. All right, here we go. We about to get to it right now. So this is chapter 4. Look at the turtles. See how they ain't blocking the turtles? They always block the feathers. I don't know why that is. They just hating on the feathers because of what it represents. That's what I think. I really do. I really do think of that. If y'all try to put feathers up in there right now, the chat going too fast for my moderators to catch it. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Like it would be too fast for me to catch it. But I appreciate that. Y'all know we love it. I love it. I really do. The support, the love, y'all help keep us going. And what I mean by us is all of us, and including my wife and myself. Let me see if I can get my wife up here real quick. Hey, babe. Can I borrow you for 1 minute? Can I borrow you for 1 minute? Real quick, babe. I'm live right now. I'm about to get into the chapter 4 of the Juneteenth. I just want you to holler at the people real quick. She downstairs in her office. Hold on, let me move the mic. Some people was like, dang, you not married? Dang, you putting on that voice. Hold on. Here come out, baby. Talk to him, Pooh.
Hi. I was working out.
Was working out?
Yeah.
I see you got your workout on. Yeah. Workout clothes on. It's all good. I mean, you not in your office. You was on a.
I was in my office.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I asked them to put the turtles up.
Hey, you guys.
And yeah. So my bad. I ain't mean to. I see you. You out here. You out here. I see you. No, I don't need anything. I mean, unless we got some cold waters in there, please. I appreciate that, baby. What a churn at? You got them quiet because I'm live? I don't hear nobody. Ain't nobody making noise. Thank you, though, baby. I appreciate that. I'm a keep this open, okay? All right. Yeah, I didn't disrupted her while she doing her workout. All right, so we in there. She about to bring me up a cold water. I do need some water, y'all, real quick. Because I've been drinking this Gatorade Zero, the one that don't got the sugar in it. But I need some water now. Like, sometimes when I don't have the water, I drink the Gatorade Zero. Y'all know the sugar, I mean, not. We gonna leave that for another time, but the sugar be, I don't know, it 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 be, it's not good for our people, y'all. Sugar, it's not. If y'all could do away with it, please do away with it. Just for your health's sake. Appreciate that. Baby, come here real quick before you go. Can you give him a wide out for me real quick? Hold on, right here.
Watto, everyone.
Thank you, baby. Thank you. Hold on, let me I got it. All right. So here we go. I need to get this water in real quick. Okay. Yeah, a lot of I wouldn't suggest that you add sugar to the fruits neither. I mean, because the fruits are naturally have their own natural sugar, but you know, some of them. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend the stuff that they got out, you know, in the grocery stores or stuff. Something wrong with it. Something wrong with it. That's all I'm gonna say. But let's get back to it. Let me cut this music off.
During the 1960s and beyond, a flag was used to represent Juneteenth that carried the colors of red, black, and green, indicating that it was associated with the pro-black Pan-African pseudo-ideology that promotes the fairy tales of 400 years of slavery in America, and that the American slaves are descendants of Africans who were somehow captured by the white man from West Africa and then forced to immigrate to parts of America between the mid-1600s and to the late 1800s. This entire story is known as the Out of Africa theory, and this theory has never been proven to be true, and it has also been debunked numerous times over by many historians and researchers like myself. But back in the 1960s and the 1970s, this theory was politically campaigned by various groups and organizations that derived from the likes of college students who were heavily influenced by deceitful, manipulating political propaganda by way of the Dixiecrats and then later on the Democrats of that time. It wasn't until the year 2022 that we were informed that a man created an official flag for Juneteenth by the name of Ben Haith in 1997, which is 30 plus years from the 1960s and 131 years from the time we are now being told that Juneteenth was being celebrated first in Texas, which was 1866. Keep all of this in mind. In an interview with Atlanta's Capital B News on June 15th, 2022, the creator of the Juneteenth 1997 flag, Ben Haith, or also known as Boston Ben, says that Juneteenth is often associated with red, green, and black, the colors of the Pan-African flag. However, those aren't the colors of the Juneteenth flag.
Right in the beginning, Juneteenth is often associated with red, green, and black, the colors of the Pan-African flag. However, those aren't the colors of the Juneteenth flag.
The banner shares the colors of the American flag, red, white, and blue. In the past, Haith had said it was a purposeful choice, a reminder that Black Americans descendant from slaves are exactly that, American. For so long, our ancestors weren't considered citizens of this country, Haith said, but realistically and technically, they were citizens. They just were deprived of being recognized as citizens. So I thought it was important that the colors portray red, white, and blue, which we see.
Notice he said that. Notice he said that. I mean, he recognized the fact that we weren't citizens, especially during the time period of the 1860s now. Okay? But we didn't have to become citizens. We didn't need to. But we were already here. But citizens is, I don't know why they're trying to make it synonymous with being a resident, when it all has to do with you being of a particular government, a citizen of a government. In this case, is a foreign government. More about that later. I ain't trying to get off the topic.
In the American flag. The article goes on to state that Stephen Williams, the president of the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation, agreed with the sentiment. We're Americans of African descent, Williams said. That doesn't sound like an agreement to me.
Right. Because he said we're American. The Haith guy and this guy, Stephen Williams, was in agreement. They said he was in agreement. We're Americans of African descent. Like, nah, that ain't it. You wrong. Like, off the break, you wrong. Like, and that's not in the, I don't even know why they worded it like that, Capital B News Atlanta. Why would you word it like as if they were in agreement? See how they trying to, whoever this writer is was probably like, oh, nah, but they the same thing. An American or Black American is of African descent. So you thinking that they in agreement with each other when technically they not.
National Juneteenth Observance Foundation's mission statement is to bring all Americans together to join our common bond of freedom. Listen to that. A bond of freedom.
Yeah. Now,
when you think that's an oxymoron?
That's definitely an oxymoron. That's their mission statement. The National Juneteenth Observance Foundation's mission statement is to bring all Americans together to join our common bond of freedom. Look at how they did that.
This shows that the roots of Juneteenth derived from the likes of Pan-Africanism, which wants Americans to believe that they are somehow descendants from Africa, when they would know that their family originated in America if they just simply asked their own elders of their individual families, who were not born or raised during the 1960s and beyond, because they were indoctrinated.
Period.
And it gets a lot deeper. Because earlier I mentioned that the creator of the official Juneteenth.com website by the name of Cliff Robinson created the website in 1996, just 1 year before this official Juneteenth flag was allegedly made. But the problem here is that this flag is nowhere near to be found on the official website. In fact, Cliff Robinson is selling his own flag and yard signs on this website.
There you go. I'm not making this up.
So, which one is authentic? Or is any of this authentic in the first place?
Thank you. Thank you.
And before you leave your comments down below and tell me what you think, I want you to remember that you were told that the Juneteenth story is connected with one particular state during a specific date and time, which was Galveston, Texas, on the date of June 19th, 1865. And I also shared with you that there is no public record of a festival celebration of this magnitude until the 1960s sprung around. But then it was not made an official state-paid holiday for Texas until either June 7th, 1979 or January 1st, 1980, by way of Texas Representative Albert Edwards, who was deemed the father of the Juneteenth holiday. But then I also informed you that the alleged legislation of proof of this historic motion has been sealed tight and cannot be seen without special government clearance of some kind, which is extremely odd. But wait, there's more. The city of Galveston, Texas signed a proclamation declaring June 19th, 1991 as Emancipation Proclamation Juneteenth 1991, signed on the date of June 19th, 1981 by the mayor and the city secretary. But wait a minute, hold up. Why would the city of Galveston need to create this holiday if the entire state of Texas allegedly made June 19th a holiday 1 or 2 years prior to this? I mean, the entire story surrounding Juneteenth is about their city of Galveston. So why would this motion be necessary if Representative Albert Edwards allegedly made history previously with getting this accomplished already?
They know I was gonna find this. They know. What?
And also, why is this Galveston, Texas proclamation declaring that the holiday should be celebrated 10 years later after the date it was signed on?
Look, it was signed in 1981, but it was to be celebrated on Juneteenth, 1991. I tore this up, bruh.
What was so significant about June 19th, 1991 in Galveston, Texas?
I ended it just like that. What was so significant about June 19th, 1991? Now, I know what it is. And we ain't gonna play no guessing games. I'm not even gonna make y'all do some multiple choice. We're gonna wait until this time period rolls back around in order for me to tell you the answer to that, because I don't want them to know that I know, because I don't want them to make it disappear when I put it out. But just think about that now. They signed this on June they signed this on June 19th, 1981. Wait, June 19th, 1981. As we, the mayor and the city council, by virtue of our authority vested by the city of Galveston, Texas, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 1991 as Emancipation Proclamation Juneteenth, 1991. And they signed this 10 years prior. So this is okay. And on the same date though. Why? That wasn't a typo. That was purposely done. And of course, I'm going to tell you about that on the part 2 version of this. And I just never got a chance to go over this with you all. But they completely made this up. And what they're doing is retracing their steps. And some things were supposed to be hidden. Some things were supposed to be in the background where you can't find it. Like this proclamation, for example. When I ran into this and showed this to my wife, because we were, I remember we were on a call with each other. She was in her office, I'm in my office. And when we compared notes and compared research, she was like, "What's this?" I said, "Look, read it." She was like, "Oh my God, you gonna put this out?" I said, "Yeah. Yeah, they thought I couldn't find this. They were hiding a whole bunch of stuff." Cause see, that made me question why they were trying to hide that particular bill, the 1016. I was like, something's wrong. What they're trying to do is to hurry up and fix that so nobody else can pinpoint that they were making this up as they went along. Now, of course, it started in the 1960s as far as the campaign is concerned that latched onto the so-called pro-black / Pan-African movement. And then they took it a step further by twisting it and turning it into a political motion that they could garner the attention of our people by using this as their excuse, as far as Juneteenth is concerned, to garner our people's votes in order to put the majority of them were Democrat, by the way, in order to put the Democrats. Hold on. What the hell? Oh, hold on a second. How the hell? Oh man. What? How did that happen? Oh. Okay. I'm not even going to announce what just happened. But that was odd. Okay. Anyway, yes, they try to do things to throw me off. But yeah. So they used it to their advantage in order to get particular Democrats in office in Texas and nationwide later on. Like, for example, this is the reason why only Joe Biden was the one to sign it off in 2021. How come they ain't bring this to Trump? And if they did, Trump was like, But yeah. But anyway, that's what I wanted to, I definitely wanted to go over this because I never got a chance to. And I said to myself, yeah, let me do that before the year changes because I did this year. And of course, the next one there's going to be a part 2 to this, but I'm waiting until we get around that time in order for me to put that out because we have more research that we conducted at the time of doing research on this. We couldn't fit everything in there. That's the reason why you saw me do it in chapters, chapter 1 all the way to chapter 4. So it's going to be more chapters to this. And like I said, this is eventually going to be a book. But yeah, it's time. It's time to just put all of the lies to bed, like put it to rest, let it go. And that's the reason why I get motivated to do what I'm doing, because a lot of stuff that I discover by way of researching, I know our people don't know. And I said to myself, well, in order for my credibility to stay where it is, as far as high as it is, I have to put this stuff on screen. Now, a lot of people that you see that disagree with me saying that I don't do research and he don't put up his research. See, they looking for links to articles and stuff like that. Now, when I do use articles, what I do, y'all, I put it up on screen. That's if I use articles. If I use books, I put it up on screen. When I use documents, I put it up on screen. You can't sit up there and say I don't do that. Everything where I get this information from is put on screen. I don't just make this. Like, how can I make this up? Like, how? Like, you giving me a lot of power by saying I'm making this up now. Keep in mind, I'm not a history writer yet, but I am rewriting history by calling out the history writers and making sure that my people see the loopholes that they took in order to create or craft these stories in order for us to latch on to it. I'm trying to make our people detached from this indoctrination so they could wake up. So, because we got things to do. I mean, this stuff right here is little, even though it is major. But to me, just me, my opinion, me personally, this is little. We got way bigger stuff to do. When I'm talking about creating towns and cities, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and we can get this done. We have the resources. We just got to put everything together. I see a lot of people be in the comments like, nah, Dane, the first thing we got to do is unite. But keep in mind, not every person is going to be on the same page as the other. So we get a group of people together that think alike. The other people will follow suit. That's why I said it's only going to take 13%. I'm going to keep repeating that. It's only going to take 13% of our people in order to get the majority of the stuff done that we need done, and everybody else will follow suit because they are followers. They're followers based off of somebody else's lead. A lot of people do not see themselves leading. You got to understand that. They don't like to be a leader. They're afraid of it. They're like, that they just, I don't know, they turn their nose up to that type of stuff. They much rather be led. But the 13% is going to consist of a group of leaders. That's all right. We're going to make sure everything is straight, so everything else could, play its course. There's things that we have to do. I talk about this on a constant basis. Of course, I attack the history because the history is straight lies. So to answer the question, where I named the title of this live stream, did history writers make it up? Yes, they made it up. They made it up. Yes, they did, from top to bottom. And they were told to do it because it was a payout in order for them to do it. It was either going to benefit them financially or benefit them, economically, or benefit them by way of their living, but their how they go about survival from themselves, including their families, and a different landmass they have no idea about. They got the support from the government and took off with it. Only certain people were put in those type of positions. And they can have the same skin complexion as you and I. So it doesn't matter their skin complexion. The enemy comes in various skin complexions. The enemy comes in various skin complexions. You can't sit up there and say it's one group. We see that the majority was coming from one group, one set group, but that doesn't mean that it was all. Not everybody shared the same beliefs, which goes back to the 13%. So we can't blame everybody. We can only blame the ones that should be blamed. And we got to know who those people are. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay? So yeah, could we blame the history writers? Yeah, but who hired them? Because whoever hired the history writers told the history writers what to do, didn't they? Just like you get hired at a job right now. You understand what I'm saying? Your employer tell you what to do, right? They give you the job description. Hey, if you could do this, you're hired. And they try to pinpoint the best person that could get the job done within a timely fashion. And if they feel as though it's you're the perfect candidate, welcome aboard. So yes, the history writers were hired in order to get this. It's just not them. It's the people behind them. And that's who I'm after. There's things that we got to change, people, when it's happening. The new year approaching, you'll see me before the new year again. The new year approaching, with that happening, yes, it needs to be out on a broader scale. Then the real narrative needs to be out on a broader scale. And I, Dane Calloway, and my wife, Tanisha Calloway, will make sure that we do our part to make sure that the true narrative is out there, and it's out there firm. And it's not about what people believe. It's about what they know. So you could keep your beliefs, but what do you know? What could you prove? What do you know for sure without picking up, let's just say, one particular book and say, hey, it's in this book? Do you have supporting documentation? What are your primary sources, your secondary sources? Don't lose your reputation as soon as you say Wikipedia. Don't do it. Me and my wife look at Wikipedia and just giggle. Like, ha ha, they trying. They ain't up to par. If you decide to do a paper, like if you were in a college or university and you decide to, and they assign you an assignment saying that you got to write up a particular whatever, like give a report on a particular person or individual, you better not go to Wikipedia. They have it set where they can see where you copy your work from. And if it pop up and say that you got this from Wikipedia and you got it verbatim, or even if you twisted a few words, your reputation is out the window. Your credibility is out the window. You failed that assignment. I don't know how the report cards look. I actually don't know what they look like. I pulled my children out of school a long time ago. That they still give report cards. Like back when I was in school was from F to A. So F would be the worst. Like they go grant you an F. You copying something off of Wikipedia. You got to do some real research. And it starts with you asking your people of your own family what happened. You don't take no other stranger's word. You don't even take my word for it. You go investigate. You find out. The people that are a part of your bloodline, find out. Talk to them. Ask them what happened. Now I really want to know. Like, even if it's good or bad, and or if it comfort them if they feel uncomfortable talking about it. Try to get it out. Try to get it out of them. Some people, like I said, I told y'all that it's real sensitive, and they carry that type of sensitivity with them all over the years, and they, you know, they got some animosity built in them, and they really do want to get it out. Let them get it out. I'm talking about your elders of your family. Let them get it out. Make sure you have something that's recording that conversation so you can remember when they recall it. You don't even got to put them on camera, but I suggest it. If they don't want to get on camera, use your phone. They got a little recorder on there. What you think Google doing? How you think the ads popping up? Google recording you? Why can't you record yourself? All of a sudden, you talking about a pair of shoes with your friend, and them same pair of shoes pop up as an ad for you when you watch YouTube. They been recording you. Privacy is out the window. But we allowed it. All because of a convenience of these new technologies that they put in front of our faces. Ooh, it's the new shiny thing. Ooh, I want a piece of that. Throwing your privacy away in exchange for that. Making our people lazier and lazier. I remember we used to have to get up to change the channel on the television. Then they implemented remotes, so you can stay on the couch and change the channel from there. I ain't gonna go too far. You know how I be jumping when I talk about a whole bunch of stuff that's been happening, man. Like, man. I was gonna talk about the Kanye West situation. I mean, but that's Kanye West situation. I talked about the Kyrie Irving situation, but let's be real. These brothers know what they doing. They know what they up against. Once you cross that line, you cross that line. You know what you up against. And Ye was pushing it. He was pushing it. He knew what he was doing. People gonna say that he ain't know what he was doing. He out of his mind. He need to go seek help. If that was the case, that would have been happened, especially with him being with a Kardashian that so-called loved him. But how come she ain't never tried to get him into something if she really did love him? To go seek help if he really needed help. He could be bipolar. He could be anything, but we can't. I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose his condition and say, all right, this is what it is. I just do know that he come out of his mouth any way that he want to, which means that he's radical. A lot of that, he put a lot of truth together and bunch it up with a lot of stuff that could be his own opinion that I disagree with. But I'm not gonna sit up there and call him out of his name just because of that. I mean, unless he directs something at me. But why would I have a problem with somebody that's trying to speak their mind? You know, I mean, if they speak their mind, fine. I mean, if they showing hate for somebody, that's something different. Now, I saw one time where I feel as though he was showing hate, like straight up hate. And I was like, nah, that's not how you get your opinion out. He need brothers like me around him to show him how they could get their opinion, how he could get his opinion out without having to go overboard. You know, and that's the reason why I get on myself. Like sometimes when I try to get my opinion out, or when I try to get some facts out and I raise my tone and you see my voice is raised and all of a sudden I'm screaming, I be having, now ain't nobody perfect. I be having to get on myself about that too. I go back and listen to it like all I had to do was mellow down. I understand I'm passionate. I get upset sometimes, but mellow it down. There's nothing wrong with doing that here and there, but you can't do it for a whole 2-3 hours straight, Dane. I be talking to myself like that too. But is he in mental condition to say that to himself? We don't know. Is he in mental condition to take care of himself? Apparently so. But when it comes to his mental, you know, I'm not there every day with him. I can't answer for that, and neither could you. But I know for a fact that there's a few things that he said that I like. And once again, it's a lot of things that he said that I don't like. So I wouldn't put him up on a pedestal and say, hey, y'all, we need to idolize him. This is going to be a leader. Absolutely not. What I do agree with is that he is trying to state it, but he do need people around him that's going to help him be able to state it well. When it come to Kyrie, what he should have said was he on a spiritual journey. He checking this out. He checking that out. He just wanted to see what was up on all spectrums. That's what Kyrie should have said instead of just letting it slide. He should have said, nah, I mean, what I'm doing is for my personal, and maybe somebody else is on that same journey with me. This is the reason why I shared it on my Twitter. They wanted to know what the Hebrew stuff was about, so I shared it on my Twitter without an explanation. Because if they gravitate towards it, then apparently their spiritual journey is allowing them to see it for a reason. That's what he should have said. You know, it's just ways that could have been, you know, stuff could have been. And then, you know, you don't owe nobody an explanation. That's one thing I can say. You don't owe nobody no explanation. But with you being on the forefront like that, meaning that you in the public side 24/7, so everything that you do is scrutinized, you got to think about that. I mean, you can't get yourself out of a situation before the situation even occur if you really utilize your mindset to the best of its capabilities. Like me, when you start seeing me, mark my words, when you start seeing me on these little public platforms, when you actually see me and I'm doing an interview, watch how I carry myself. Watch it. It's not going to be to a point where anybody going to be able to manipulate anything that I'm saying and twist and turn it, because I'm going to stop them in their tracks and like, look, we having a general conversation, right? So what you say and what I say could be two separate things, but you don't misinterpret what I'm saying when I'm right in front of you telling you what I'm saying. I'm saying it verbatim. You can quote it because I'm right in front of you. Now, if it's something that you have a question about, ask a question, but don't misinterpret what I'm saying based off of your own personal beliefs. That's what a lot of stuff get twisted. And I notice when people in the public's eye, a lot of things get twisted based off of the interviewer's own personal beliefs or the group's own personal belief. But once again, I'm gonna go back to this. It's not about what you may believe or what you do believe. It's about what you know and what you can actually prove. So when I get on these platforms, I'm letting y'all know right now, I'm chopping these heads off. I'm not playing with them. We're gonna get the real narrative out there and it's gonna stick. And I know people gonna bring up my stuff about Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner. I can't wait, because ain't there one person out there gonna be able to debunk what I put out. Not one. Still to this day. And I forgot how long it's been since that book is out. I forgot. The book is out. The book is out with the research in it. Debunk it. I dare you. I dare you. You ain't gonna be able to do it. But Harriet Tubman got relatives. Who said that? Harriet Tubman got relatives? How? How? When Harriet Tubman wasn't even her name. But that don't mean she don't got no relative. Well, show me how she a relative. Show me that versus telling me that. Show me that. Come on now. And they shot themselves in the foot by saying that that guy was Nat Turner's relative because his last name was Turner. When the surname Turner was an alias that Thomas Ruffin Gray created and admitted it in his copyrighted work that he sent for copyrighted, which was a book anyway that he considered a pamphlet, a palm play. Palm play. Comedy. Laughing at it. They making fun of you. Palm play. French. Man, I'm ready. I'm ready. Because we gotta let this stuff die in order for us to move forward. So, once again, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all taking y'all time to watch what's going on and what I want to put out. My wife and I appreciate y'all so much for all the support, the love, the likes, the shares, the comments. Hey man, y'all gotta listen to Dane Calloway. Y'all gotta, because once again, I'm gonna say this again, it's not about me. It's about us. I was just used as a vessel by my ancestors to put this out. And I'm not finished. I'm just getting started. I love y'all just as well as I love my ancestors. And I love my wife and my children. It's not like I gotta do this. I wanna do this. This is what I love. This is what I feel in my heart. This would make me feel good every time I wake up, every time I go to sleep. That's why it's so passionate for me to make this right for our people. I'm not gonna be the only one to do this, I know, but I'm just saying, if I gotta be the spot to start that fire, then so be it. Because with that fire, everybody gonna be able to see the things that are not lit. And fire spreads even when the wind not blowing. and it's gonna light areas up. Do away with the bad and come to good.
It's up.
With that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I'm gonna see y'all the next time. I love y'all so much. Shout out to all my moderators. Please, moderators, join me in the Discord 13% server here because we got a meeting coming up because the things are coming up. And to those that are viewing right now, if you haven't joined the 13% server, which is the Discord server, look in the description of this video. The link is there. It's free. You don't have to pay for nothing. I'm not asking for anything from you. This is free. I just want us to come together with the common goal to make shit happen. Like, straight up. I'm tired of talking. I know you are too. I love y'all. Wado.
I'm just here to make you think.